and then he cashed it out to make a couple $1,000. So I think I'm the majority about not knowing what it is. So what is this 21 million and 18 million that you guys were just talking about amongst yourselves? Is that important?
Yeah. So, so let me give you an analogy. So you know how with paper money, they can always print more, and that's the reason for inflation. So when it comes to the Bitcoin, say for example, we have 10 apples on the table, and the four of us, we each go and grab 2 apples. So that means there's 8 apples. That means there's only 2 apples left. So the price of those 2 apples are going to increase because the demand the supply is low, but the demand is high.
Right.
That makes sense.
So there's only a certain amount of Bitcoin, you're saying?
Right. Yes.
So
21 million.
Available now is only 18 million. Available total before it stopped being produced would be 21 million. That was the amount that the developers said, and only going to be produced 21 million Bitcoins in the world.
So you're saying only 21 million people have Bitcoin right now?
No,
not people.
I said it's only 21
No,
million.
Bitcoins.
Yeah, it's only 21 million Bitcoins going to be produced. There's 18 million so far.
So
that's what we use it now.
So in that way, it's like gold. In that way.
Yeah.
And it's not just one Bitcoin, right? It's a whole bunch of different Bitcoin companies. Is that correct? Like, not every Bitcoin company is the same, right?
It's not a company. It's an algorithm, a mathematical formula that takes a few months to figure it out. And once the formula is completed, that creates a Bitcoin. And that goes into the marketplace.
So Jeff, you were talking about earlier that you've been using it since 2013 just to use it. Are you somehow making profit with other people with Bitcoin or no? Because I have a punchline to a question, but I wanted to see if you're in this question or not. Are you making profit also by helping other people or no?
I mean, you make profit because this is the thing, like, and this is where it's great because I'm transacting with people from all over the world. So, in that sense, it's one currency for us all to equally, instead of the dollar, it's one coin for us to equally use without the barriers that the dollar has. If I wanted to send money to Russia instant, I would have to get, an IBAN account. I have to go to the bank. I have to give them an account and routing number, and I have to send it to them. But when I'm transacting with people across the country, all I have to do is be in my room and send it to them, and it takes 30, 40 minutes, and the transaction is over with. So in that sense, it's totally great. There's nothing that's going to replace it, Now, we can go to PayPal, and we can do that, but even PayPal has barriers. If you send over a certain amount of money, they want to make sure, is this your money? Or, it's always an intermediary with some type of slowdown or stoppage. But if we're just minding our business and acting,
Now, I don't want to be too extreme, but you guys remember the last shooting that happened in Las Vegas with the guy, I forget his last name, Pollock or something like that. Now, shortly after, that whole thing went down, there was this big deal about how much money he sent to his wife or his girlfriend in the Philippines. I'm being very extreme here, but I want to understand this. Are you saying that had he sent that through Bitcoin, we wouldn't know about that?
More than likely.
So what?
But there's
do y'all remember that though? Do y'all remember that he sent a whole bunch of money?
So the big thing with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is the actual technology, which is called the blockchain, and we can talk about that in a little bit. So what happens is if I send Bitcoin to you, or if I make a purchase with Bitcoin, what happens is the blockchain is like a ledger. So you know how when you get checkbooks and you can write in what you wrote a check for?
Mm-hmm.
That's what the block. So every transaction is ultimately for public view. So if that guy sent money to his family in the Philippines, that will be recorded on the blockchain, aka the ledger. So we can see, he sent this much Bitcoin to his family in the Philippines. Now it won't have like personal data, but it'll just have just the amount and the transaction time and all that other stuff.
Okay. Why do I want money that's not being traced? Because it's not traceable, right? It's not traceable.
No, it is traceable and it's verifiable and that.
But is it insured? Is it insured? Is the money insured?
No.
I mean, you can say in a way it's insured because when you send it to an asset,
is it like a money order insured? Because money orders aren't insured.
Yeah, but
is it like a money order where it's not insured? And if it's not insured, that's fine. But I just want some understanding. Is my money with Bitcoin, is it insured?
Bitcoin.
You sending it to somebody is pretty much insured. It's going to get there once the transaction is sent. But whatever that person does with their wallet, if you lose your password with your wallet, then, there's no getting that back. But the transaction of you sending it to Bob is guaranteed.
I still don't understand why it's what's the big deal? Like, it's such a big surge with what's going on that I still don't get it. Why do I need I have my credit, debit card, PayPal, I have cash. It's all fast. It's not like it's like dial-up on a computer. You bring me a dial-up right now. If dial-up was the dollar in in cable, or if cable internet was Bitcoin, then I would say yes, I need that Bitcoin. I need it.
So one thing you gotta remember is that whether or not it's understandable or whether or not people accept it, like we're looking at the future of how people are going to transact. Like that's inevitable. Like we're moving towards a digital, a digital age, right? So that's like eventually people are going to either be get in now or they're going to be forced to when they realize that the fiat money is worthless. Like Dr. Ali said. I mean, it's already worthless, but
Let me add something. I just made today, in the last hour, about $3,000 worth of Bitcoin. Mm-hmm. I took $400, got into a program where you can earn Bitcoins, and I made $10,000 in the last 10 days. I just made $3,000 today. So what you guys need to be looking at, we could talk about this if where there's value or no value, but we need to capture and get as much Bitcoin as we can because it's going to go up to 100,000, almost $500,000 for one Bitcoin in the next 3 years. You could be a millionaire just by owning one Bitcoin.
Yeah. Well, and that's the point of it. But to answer his question, your dollar isn't the same worth as it was yesterday, just because of the inflation. Just because of inflation. Yeah. Right. And this is why rich people. This is why rich people buy into bonds, because they have to store their money somewhere with some type of interest rate in order for it to remain, keep its value. $20 back in 1930s, you could buy a whole lot with that. The $20 now, you probably can't get down the street without, spending that.
Right.
That's the main thing.
Let me tell you something about the rich. They're spending their money in art. Billions of dollars for a piece of art. They take $1 billion and buy a piece of a painting. And that's an asset because money is worthless. Yeah. Let's just give you an example.
Do you guys know people who lost money through Bitcoin?
Yes, I've lost money through Bitcoin. I lost several $1,000s through 2 or 3 programs, but I made 20, 30, 40, 50,000.
In terms of most people with Bitcoin, the only way to lose is just bad investments, bad bad decisions. You can keep a personal wallet, which you download on the internet, and keep a password for it. You can lose your password. That's a loss. You can invest in an alternate coin like Ethereum or Litecoin, and in that way you lost some Bitcoin. So that's a loss of investment. But if you chose to just keep your own personal wallet, keep your password, and leave that Bitcoin somewhere, it's not going anywhere. So losing Bitcoin is a personal choice of bad investments.
Right.
And this thing is.
I had a guy, billionaire Brown, Steve Miller. You know Steve Miller?
Absolutely.
Steve invested with me 8 months ago in the same program where I lost money. He was able to make some, and he ended up with $6,000 in Bitcoin after the company closed down. Today, he left it in the wallet, as that gentleman was talking about. He didn't take it out. He didn't invest in anything. He took $6,000 and just let it sit. Today, that's worth $40,000.
Yeah.
And he could take that $40,000 right now and go buy a car with it. He could buy real estate with it. He could buy anything with it. There's over 100,000 stores that take Bitcoin. There's a guy in Miami selling a house for $6 million, and he's taking Bitcoin for the house. Tesla, you can buy a Tesla car with Bitcoin. Tesla takes Bitcoin.
Yeah,
and the list goes on.
Okay, so go ahead, Jeff.
Just to pretty much summarize, like what you have here is basically just the future of internet transactions and probably the future of transactions, period. Nobody really, I personally, I don't carry cash. I'm pretty sure most people don't carry cash, that working. Yeah, nobody really carries cash. We actually have Bitcoin in our damn debit cards. We just don't acknowledge it as such. And we just let the world.
You could put it on a debit card.
If they want to call our debit card Bitcoin, they might as well, because we're making digital transactions now. But the decentralized nature of Bitcoin is pretty much what everybody's betting on, and that's why the value is so crazy.
Yeah, and bro, just think about this. Like I think Bitcoin's like $17,000 right now. 16.5. So $16,500 US equals one Bitcoin.
Right.
That's huge.
Yeah, it was only 3,000, 5,000, 4,000.
Yeah.
So y'all, all right. So again, I'm gonna be an extremist. We all know these women today are getting these, fake booty shots and plastic surgeries and things of that nature. But there was this one story, and more stories like this are coming out. The more popular it gets, they had that one lady in New York who got, she went to a fake doctor, because everybody's now a doctor who can know how to inject the butt or get some girl some big titties or whatever like that. So the long story short, the girl died because the doctor didn't know what he was doing, and he injected her butt with cement, and shortly after she died.
Right.
The punchline to my question is, okay, with this Bitcoin, are there some red flags that we need to know? You said there's thousands of different Bitcoin companies, right? Is there some red? Okay.
No, not Bitcoin companies. There's thousands of cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin is just a name for a currency called cryptocurrency.
But is there a bad thing that is there some bad things we should be looking out for when it comes to Bitcoin, or is it all good? If it says Bitcoin, it's good.
It's called a bubble, meaning that just like the stock market, it goes up, the Bitcoin could come all the way down from 16,000 down to 1,000 tomorrow, or 5,000.